thy commandments. New mercies every day, that's what the scriptures say. But that doesn't mean continue to live this way. A righteous man falls down and gets back up again. But the wicked shall fall again and again. You know you got to keep God's commandments. Keep my commandments, that's what he said. Do what's right, or you'll be fighting for your life. Keep God's commandments, it's the whole duty of man. It's the whole duty of man. New mercies fall upon us every day. That's what the scriptures say. But that doesn't mean that we can continue to live our lives this way. That's what he said. Ye are children tossed to and fro by winds of false doctrine. That's where you go. 5%ers, Islam, Kemet, Christianity, or Christian insanity. Come back to your God, Israel. For it has been made manifest to us what is pleasing to our Elohim. Keep my commandments, that's what he said. Do what's right, or you'll be fighting for your life. Keep God's commandments, it's the whole duty of man.
Shalom, shalom, family. Most High Christ bless. Peace and blessings to you and your households. Happy Sabbath. Happy destruction of Nicanor. Uh, they were ready. Let us, Elijah, you guys, let us rise and face the east. Let us say,
Brothers, uncover your heads. Sisters, cover your head. Men of Israel, blow trumpets. Heavenly Father, we come to you, seeking thy face and thy voice on this great Sabbath, O Lord, that thou hast set before our people Israel. We pray, O Lord, that you will hearken unto our voice, O Lord, and hear our prayers and our things that we want to give unto thee. But thou, O Lord, have granted us to be here to keep thy commandments and to honor thy statutes. And Lord, we are here to honor thee and walk in thy commandments and show forth thy praise, O Lord, that we may lift thee up in these last days, and that all nations may know that we are the children of Israel, the children of the one true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, O Lord. We come praying, O Lord, that you endow us with thy history, O Lord, according to what our forefathers did during that time, O Lord. Let thy word go forth, and let the messengers that bring forth the word, O Lord, be in thy spirit, and let him speak thy word according to thy will, O Lord, that the people may understand and hearken, and O Lord, and gather themselves together. They keep these high holy days thou hast set before our people, Israel. We give you glory and we give you honor, and we magnify thee, O Lord. Let thy word be in us, and O Lord, let us always be mindful to speak thy word and thy words only, one to another, and that the nations may know that we are wise and understanding people that fear the one true God, and that keep thy commandments. O Lord, let us love one another and walk in thy counsel and do thy will and forget the way that we think that is good for us. The Lord, that thy will be in us and let us stand in these last days. In our son's great name, we say, Amen.
Oh, all praises. Good prayer, brother. Good prayer. Good prayer. Good prayer. Shalom, family. Today is the 13th day of the month Adar, which by biblical standards is the memorial of the destruction of Nicanor. All right. When you read the history of the Maccabees, the great acts that Judas did, in spite of the king and those that the king sent to destroy Israel. Okay. This brother, man, he was a different type of brother. They don't make him like this no more. They don't make him like that no more, man. You know, I know when we read Leviticus 26, we understand the spirit of fear was put upon us because of our wickedness, man. But the Most High will always raise up a seed of the righteous to have that fierceness, that anger that he loves to do his will, man. And that's what Judas and his sons and those that was amongst them did. So in observance and honor of those men and the wonderful works of the Most High God, we're going to observe the day of Nicanor, okay? Coupled with this wonderful, marvelous Sabbath that we have of rest. I know it's a lot of people that they're sick, you know what I'm saying? They're not feeling well. They might have gorged themselves with fish, like myself. You know, we want to sleep on the day of rest, but it is what it is, man. We're gonna read a little bit of the history. When we read in the book of Maccabees, when you read First Maccabees 7 and Second Maccabees 14 and 15, you'll get the clear history of the destruction of Nicanor. Let's start with First Maccabees 7, real quick. Start at verse 43. We'll start at 43, but I want the in-depth history. First Maccabees 7, it just scratched the surface as far as the history. Okay. Second Maccabees 14 and 15 is what we're gonna jump into. But read that, bro.
First Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 43. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the hosts joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle.
So on the 13th day of the month of Dar, all the hosts joined in battle. Nicanor's host was discomfited, meaning he was getting beat the hell up, and Nicanor was killed. Read on.
Now when Nicanor's hosts saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled.
So when they saw that Nicanor was killed, they threw their weapons and ran. They threw down their weapons and ran. I'm telling you, our foreparents they were some bad brothers. Read on.
Then they pursued after them a day's journey from Adasa unto Gassara, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets.
Jump down to verse 49.
Verse 49, moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th of Adar.
So in conjunction with them discomforting that host, putting to death Nicanor, they ordained this day to be observed. So we're going to do that in honor of the Most High God, in honor of our foreparents, in their mighty battles. Okay, we're going to observe this day. So this day, based upon what? The new moon. Okay, based upon our understanding of the calculation of the times, this day is the 13th day of the month of Dar. And it begins when? At even. I want no trouble. Now let's go to 2 Maccabees chapter 14. I just gotta say, I gotta say it because niggas be tripping. I just gotta say it. Niggas be tripping. It is what it is. Hold on, let me pull up this here Facebook, yeah. Let me see how do I sign up. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Log in. And we're gonna get right. We're gonna read this history today. Okay, it ain't gonna be a long class. Let me cut this down. Cut that down. All praises, all praises. All right, let's go 2 Maccabees chapter 14. We're gonna start at verse 1. Now, I'm telling you, it's a bad man up in this thing we about to read about. Razis? R-A-Z-I-S, that brother. Come on, read, brother. You just gonna read. I don't know. Come on.
2 Maccabees chapter 14 and verse 1. After 3 years was Judas informed that Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, having entered by the
Who is Seleucus? Who is Seleucus?
That was one of the generals.
One of the 4 generals. Exactly. Appointed by who?
Antiochus.
Antiochus. Yeah, Antiochus, yeah.
Antiochus.
Remember when Alexander died, Alexander the Greek died, his lands was parted out to his 4 notable friends. Seleucus in that dynasty was one of them. Okay, so he was in that Seleucus dynasty. Read on.
After 3 years was Judas informed that Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, having entered by the haven of Tripolis with a great power and navy.
So this dude had a great power, meaning a great army and a great navy. Okay, come on.
Had taken the country and killed Antiochus. And
He did what?
Had taken the country and killed Antiochus.
He killed Antiochus. Antiochus ain't give it to him. He killed Antiochus. Come on.
And Lysias, his protector.
Come on.
Now one Alcimus, who had
So Alcimus, this is the Uncle Ruckus of Israel right here. This is the original Uncle Ruckus of Israel. This is what's the dude name from Django?
Stephen.
This is Stephen right here. This is him right here. This is him right here. Okay, and this is our people. This spirit right here. I want y'all to understand something. The spirit of those that hate their own is very prevalent today. The spirit of Judas Maccabeus and the rest of his sons, that's scarce. You don't see it too often. You don't see it too often, man. This spirit of this man right here, this is what you see amongst us today. But read on.
Now one Alcimus, who had been high priest and had defiled himself willfully in the times of their mingling with the Gentiles, seeing that by no means he could save himself, nor have any more access to the holy altar. So
he couldn't save himself, he couldn't repent, nor have any access to the holy altar. He wanted to be high priest again. He wanted that power, that seat, and that authority. He wasn't able to achieve that thing. Not while righteous brothers was in place. Okay? So this brother was going to do everything he could by any means necessary to obtain that title again, to attain that power or that authority again. Okay, he defiled himself with the Gentiles. So when that decree went out that we would sacrifice pigs, sacrifice swine, and all those things on our altars, he did it. When the decree went out that we would do the customs of the heathen, he did it. He defiled himself by the way of the Gentiles. Okay, come on.
Came to King Demetrius in the 150th year, presenting unto him a crown of gold and a palm, and also of the bows which were used solemnly in the temple. And so that day he held his peace.
So he went and bribed the king. That's what he did. He made friends with the king. Remember, the scripture says the gift what? Destroyed the heart. This is exactly what he did. He went to the king because he knew the power of the people was with the king. Okay, so if he was in with him, he could persuade him for his own causes, his own purpose. But read on.
Howbeit, having got an opportunity to further his foolish enterprise.
To further what?
His foolish enterprise.
So that enterprise of the foolish, the Most High would disrupt that thing. He would discontinue that. Okay, but this man, hey, he had a part to play. The power of the Most High had to be shown. So this man had a part to play. He had his foolish enterprise. In his mind, he thought he was doing something. Okay, he thought he was doing his own thing, restoring himself as the high priest. That's what he thought. Okay, but he played a major part. He was gonna read on. I don't know if y'all know, but I love this history, man. I love this history. It ain't just a story to me. This is my history. You reading about us. Read on.
And being called into council by Demetrius and asked how the Jews stood affected and what they intended, he answered thereunto. Those are the Jews that be called Assyrians, whose captain is Judas Maccabeus, nourish war, and are sedition.
So those Assyrians, remember those that didn't want to fight on the Sabbath day. Y'all remember that history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the Assyrians.
Right. They didn't want to fight, so they heathen decided to attack them on the Sabbath day because they knew they could take them down because they weren't going to fight because it was the high holy day to them.
Exactly. Then Judas Maccabeus said, "What? Nah, they ain't happening. They ain't happening." So that's why he was called their captain. Okay, but read on.
Those are the Jews that be called Assyrians, whose captain is Judas Maccabeus, nourish war and are seditious, and will not let the realm be in peace.
So hey, I don't care what you do, King. These men, they're never gonna let you rule in peace. This is what he's telling the heir, this king right here. Read on.
Therefore I, being deprived of mine ancestors' honor, I mean the high priesthood, and now come hither. First, verily of the unfeigned care I have of things pertaining to the king. And secondly, even for that I intend the good of mine own countrymen. For all our nation is in no small misery through the unadvised dealing of them aforesaid. Wherefore, O king, seeing thou knowest all these things, be careful for the country and our nation, which is pressed on every side, according to the clemency that thou readily showest unto all. For as long as Judas liveth, it is not possible that the state should be quiet.
So what is he saying to the king? What is he telling the king right here? What is he in the ear of the king saying about Judas? We gotta kill him.
You gotta get rid of him.
He gotta die. If you want peace, he gotta die. You gotta kill him and everybody that follow him. What was Alchemist's purpose? He wanted that seat, that position. He wanted to be seen as that guy. He wanted that vain title. Okay, read on.
This was no sooner spoken of him, but others of the king's friends, being maliciously set against Judas, did more incense Demetrius.
So it was said of him as well as the others, because everybody knew of this man and the rebellion that he had against those that came against us. That fervent abhorration of those that wanted to be in the midst of sin. He hated that. So if that brother Alchemist, remember, it said that he defiled himself. He know Judas wasn't dealing with him. He was defiled. He was evil as hell. Okay, read on.
And forthwith calling Nicanor, who had been master of the elephants, and making him governor over Judea, he sent him forth, commanding him to slay Judas and to scatter them that were with him, and to make Alzheimer's high priest of the great temple.
You see that? So this brother, he took gifts, he got in the king's ear. Now he sent one of his top men to go and kill Judas. And everybody that followed him. Okay? Now who set this in motion? Was it the king himself? Was it somebody of the other nation? It was his own doggone people. That's why I said, man, and we're gonna read it within the scriptures. We are our own worst enemies. We are our own worst enemies. When we step outside of righteousness, we are our own worst enemies, man. Speaking evil. This dude blatantly spoke evil of this man to the point where the king and all his friends were speaking about him to kill him. Because he wanted a damn seat, a position. Come on, man. Do we not see this today?
Absolutely.
Read on.
Then the heathen that had fled out of Judea from Judas came to Nicanor by flocks.
So he was whooping their butt, man. And those that he was whooping, they ran to Nicanor. They ran to him in flocks and droves. By the thousands running to this man. Come on.
Thinking the harm and calamities of the Jews to be their welfare.
They wanted to kill. They wanted all the Jews done. They want them dead. They want them dead. They seen this man riding up on these damn elephants. They say, man, he gonna kill them. He gonna take them out. Let's flock to them. Let's run to them. Not understanding that we have the ultimate power. I don't give a damn how many elephants you bring. Hey, we don't care how much armament you bring, how many weapons, how great your nation is. We have the ultimate power. Our people just don't understand, man. Read on.
Now, when the Jews heard of Nicanor's coming and that the heathen were up against them, they cast earth upon their heads and made supplication to him that had established his people forever.
Who did they make supplication to?
To the Most High.
The Most High God. They understood their power. They just seen it in action. Remember, those that came against them, they was running in flocks to Nicanor when they seen that big host, that big army. Go ahead, bro.
So you telling me that they ain't take counsel with themselves, they ain't lean to their own understanding, but they call on the power.
They call on the power. Read on.
And who always helpeth his portion with manifestation of his presence.
Don't read that so fast. Read that again.
Now when the Jews heard of Nicanor's coming, and that the heathen were up against them, they cast earth upon their heads, and made supplication to him that had established his people forever.
So they sent up prayers, they made supplication unto him, they repented, they made sure they was right. Because they seen this big army coming up, they seen this big host coming up now. Read the rest of that.
And who always helpeth his portion.
Hold on, who always does what?
Helpeth his portion.
Who always helpeth his portion, as long as we're keeping the commandments, as long as we're doing what thus says the Lord, he helps us. Okay? That's why when you read in the book of Judith, they know that if we're not keeping the commandments, they can do what? Come over and overtake us. They can destroy us sorely. All right? It says, who always helpeth his portion. Read that next part. That next part is, hey, that's the banger right there.
Who always help his portion with manifestation of his presence.
How did he manifest his presence in Egypt?
I mean, he whooped the Egyptians with plagues and whooped the behinds.
I'm telling you, hey, listen, I said this like last year. The Most High God he's dramatic, man. He has to have that dramatic effect on things. When he kill you, he can't just, you're dead. No, it has to be magnificent. The ground got to open up and swallow you.
And close back.
Hey, the water got to just open from heaven and flood you out. It has to be magnificent. The gods you serve, you're going to die by them. I'm going to kill you by all these gods you serve. I'm going to take your firstborn sons. Y'all watch this. Watch what I'm doing. I'm going to show you the power. Watch what I'm doing. All these idols, they're going to fall at the feet of the Ark of the Covenant. They're going to fall at everything that I establish. Come on, man. Read on. Elijah, did you have something, bro? Okay, all praise.
Verse 16. So at the commandment of the captain, they removed straightways from thence, and came near unto them at the town of Desor. Now Simon Judah's brother had joined battle with Nicanor, but was somewhat discomfited through the sudden silence of his enemies. Nevertheless, Nicanor, hearing of the manliness of them that were with Judas, and the courageousness that they had to fight for their country, durst not try the matter by the sword.
So he's seen their manliness. He said, "Man, we can't rock with them. We cannot fight with them. We can't overtake them with the sword. We got to be crafty. We got to bring forth some crafty counsel." Don't that sound familiar? Don't that sound like Psalms 83?
Psalm 83.
Come on, man. It's nothing new. They do the same thing today. We really can't overpower them. Let's kill them slowly. Let's kill them like this. Let's give them this. Let's give them sin. Read on.
Wherefore he sent Posidonius and Theodotus and Matthias to make peace.
To do what?
To make peace.
So he sent them to be nice. Y'all see that? See, everybody get bedazzled. They get fooled by the nice nations. See, they nice to us. They gave us this. They gave us. No, it's all for a purpose, man. It's all for a purpose. It's all for a reason. But read on.
So when they had taken long advisement thereupon, and the captain had made the multitude acquainted therewith, and it appeared that they were all of one mind, they consented to the covenants.
So they signed treaties. Didn't they do that with the Indians, so-called natives? Signed what, over 400 or 700 or something like that treaties, and broke every single one of them? See, we see history repeating itself because it's the same spirits doing the same things over and over and over. Okay, read on.
And appointed a day to meet in together by themselves. And when the day came and stools were set for either of them, Judas placed armed men ready in convenient places, lest some treachery should be suddenly practiced by the enemies. So they made a peaceable conference.
So he set up men. Hey, this brother was on. That's why I said the Most High will set up men with that mind that they won't be fooled by the nonsense that's going on in this world. They ain't gonna be fooled by the trickery. They're gonna be dazzled by fair speeches, smooth tongues. This brother said, "All right, let me set up some men round about. So if anything pop off, we ready to get it in." They don't make these type of men like this no more, man. They don't make them like this no more. These fake army men, the fake army mindset of these people. Come on, man. We was in the military. A lot of us was in the military. To me, that's fake. When you look, all that stuff is fake. When you look at what our military looked like, the military mind of our men, our brothers, our foreparents. When you look at that, all that stuff is garbage. The stuff, people try to copy what the military is doing. I want to copy what Judas Maccabeus was doing.
Oh, praise.
Read on.
Now Nicanor abode in Jerusalem, and did no hurt, but sent away the people that came flocking unto him.
So he sent away. So those ones that was running from Judah Maccabeus and them, the ones that was running, he sent them away. He got like he wasn't gonna help them. He wasn't a part of that. All trickery, all crafty. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, I just wanted to point out something because you were reading something earlier, and it said that they call on the power, right? They consulted with the Most High about what was going on, right? Now, what we starting to read, what the Most High was putting in the brother's spirit on how to deal with things. He acknowledges power. Now, guess what his power doing? Instructing him. This is what we read, and what we're reading is what God is instructing in his brother's spirit. We seeing the actions of the Most High being taken place in his brother's mind, and he's showing it through his action. It's amazing.
Hey, that's why when you read that the Lord is a man of war, he put that warlike spirit upon his brothers, upon the men that he established, okay? To think a certain way, to move a certain way. So you're right. Read on.
Verse 24, and he will not willingly have Judas out of his sight, for he loved the man from his heart. He prayed him also to take a wife and to beget children. So he married, was quiet, and took part of this life. But Alcimus, perceiving the love that was betwixt them, and considering the covenants that were made, came to Demetrius and told him that Nicanor was not well.
Whoa. Jump back to 25 and 26, man. Jump back to 20, because what's going on here, y'all?
Verse 25. He prayed him also to take a wife and to beget children. So he married, was quiet, and took part of this life.
So Nicanor was he liked Judas. Did y'all see that? It says he would not willingly have Judas out of his sight, for he loved the man from his heart. That's crazy.
That sound like Uriah and David, don't it?
It does almost. Read on.
But Alcimus, perceiving the love that was betwixt them.
Oh, so Alcimus was a hater. He was sitting back. I'm telling you, this is Stephen. This is Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus.
Everything was going smooth. Because once Nicanor, once this brother saw the spirit Judas had on him, he couldn't help but like him. He couldn't help but like him. He was for his people. He was doing the things to better his people. Read on.
But Alcimus, perceiving the love that was betwixt them, and considering the covenants that were made, came to Demetrius, and told him that Nicanor was not well affected towards the state, for that he had ordained Judas a traitor to his realm to be the king's successor.
So he went and lied about Nicanor. Read on.
Then the king, being in a rage and provoked with the accusations of the most wicked man, wrote to Nicanor, signifying that he was much displeased with the covenants, and commanding him that he should send Maccabeus prisoner in all haste unto Antioch.
So this now, Alchemist had a lot of doggone pull, because remember, he got in real good with the king. What did he do? He sent them gifts. He started singing his praises. Okay, got in real good with him. So even the lies told to him was believed by the king. Okay, and all of this was brought about by who? His own people. Just keep that in mind. He heard the covenants. He like, nah, I can't have that. He saw the love that they had. He said, nah, I can't have that either. Let me write to the king, say this, both of them evil. Both of them not doing according to your will, king. Read.
When this came to Nicanor's hearing, he was much confounded himself, and took it grievously that he should make void the articles which were agreed upon, the man being in no fault.
Read.
But because there was no dealing against the king, he watched his time to accomplish this thing by policy. Notwithstanding, when Maccabeus saw that Nicanor began to be churlish unto him, and that he entreated him more roughly than he was wont, perceiving that such sour behavior came not of good, he gathered together not a few of his men and withdrew himself from Nicanor.
So they was chilling together. Once he saw the change in that dude's spirit, he said, nah. The Most High put the spirit on him to recognize that it was something going on. It was something wrong there. Because it was love. Now it's hate. He's speaking churlish to him now. Now he dealing with him a certain sort of way. Now wise brother will be like, yeah, hey, let's get the hell up out of here. Something wrong with this dude. Read on.
But the other, knowing that he was utterly prevented by Judas' policy, came into the great and holy temple, and commanded the priests that were offering their usual sacrifices to deliver him the men. And when they swear that they could not tell where the man was whom he sought, he stretched out his right hand toward the temple and made an oath in this manner.
So this oath sealed his fate. This oath. Now, I got a question. Did he do this willingly?
That's what the scripture said.
So he did this willingly, right?
Right.
Now, remember, it wasn't fully he did this willingly, but the actions that came about, he was forced to do those things.
Right.
Remember, they was chilling. They was cool.
Right.
Until the king sent the letter to him, right? Because of the lie of Alchemist.
Right.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So before that, they was good. Everything was good. Then he began to speak churlish. He began to deal with him improperly. Now he said, where did he go? Deliver him up. He going to the priest now. Where did he go? Deliver him up to me. Okay. Now it's hatred there. Why? Because the will of the king cannot be, what it says, the will of the king cannot be prevented.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 32. And when they swear that they could not tell where the man was, whom he saw, he stretched out his right hand toward the temple and made an oath to this manner. If you will not deliver me Judas' prisoner, I will lay this temple of God even with the ground. And I will break down the altar and erect a notable temple unto Bacchus.
So he said, I'm going to destroy this temple. I'm going to tear this damn altar up. And I'm going to erect a idol, a temple unto Bacchus. And that's the god of wine and reveling. Okay? And orgies. Read on.
After these words he departed. Then the priests lifted up their hands toward heaven and besought him that was ever a defender of their nation, saying in this manner, Thou, O Lord of all things, who hast need of nothing, was pleased that the temple of thine habitation should be among us. Therefore now, O holy Lord of all holiness, keep this house ever undefiled, which lately was cleansed, and stop every unrighteous mouth.
So stop every unrighteous mouth. Okay? So not a dog move his tongue against the children of Israel. Stop every unrighteous mouth. Read on.
Now was there accused unto Nicanor one Razis, one of the elders of Jerusalem, a lover
Listen. Razis, this brother right here, they don't make them like this no more, man. Okay? The spirit of Razis, he was an elder in Jerusalem. Those old men like Eleazar, they don't make them like that no more. Okay? This is a bad brother right here. I want y'all to pay close attention to what's about to happen. Read, bro.
Now was there accused unto Nicanor one Razis, one of the elders of Jerusalem, a lover of his countrymen and a man of very good report, who for his kindness was called a father of the Jews.
Man, this brother, he cared for his people. He had much love for his people. They called him a father of the Jews. That was a high esteem to be called that, man. Okay? This wasn't a vain title. This is something that this is the attribute of his spirit amongst the people. This is a bad man right here. Read on.
For in the former times, when they mingled not themselves with the Gentiles, he had been accused of Judaism, and did boldly jeopard his body and life with all vehemency for the religion of the Jews.
So he ain't deal with the Gentiles. He ain't partake in those customs. And he was accused of Judaism, and he stood 10 toes down for Judaism. He stood 10 toes down for his belief, for the Most High, the Word of God. He stood firm for that thing. Read on.
So Nicanor, willing to declare the hate that he bare unto the Jews, sent above 500 men of war to take him. For he thought by taking him to do the Jews much hurt.
So they thought by taking this elder man in Jerusalem, that's gonna hurt the Jews. That's gonna hurt them and cause them to what? Not fight against them. Okay, make their hearts soften and be afraid. Right? Well, watch this. Read on.
Now, when the multitude would have taken the tower and violently broken into the outer door, and bade that fire should be brought to burn it, he being ready to be taken on every side fell upon his sword.
So he was he was ready to be taken on every side, man. They was destroying the temple. He fell upon, you ain't gonna kill me with your damn hands. I take my stuff out. Well, read on. Hold on. What was heavy too is it says, so Nicanor, willing to declare the hate that he bare unto the Jews. So now he got to show that he hate them. He dwelt amongst them in peace. Now he got to show that he hate them. Who is he showing? He's showing the king Demetrius that he hates the Jews. Now he got to show face. Okay? But read on, bro.
Verse 42. Choosing rather to die manfully than to come into the hands of the wicked, to be abused otherwise than beseem his noble birth.
Read on.
But missing his stroke through haze, the multitude also rushing within the doors.
So think about this. So they tried to come and get him They destroying everything, burning stuff down. He tried to fall on the sword. He missed. In haste, he was trying to. He said, "I don't want you to kill. I take myself out." In haste, he missed. Right? Watch this.
Also rushing within the doors, he ran boldly up to the wall and cast himself down manfully among the thickest of them.
So he ran, he ran and jumped on all of them, bro. Watch this.
But they quickly give him back, and a space being made, he fell down into the midst of the void place.
Read.
Nevertheless, while there was yet breath with him, being inflamed with anger, he rose up, and though his blood gushed out like spouts of water.
So think about this. Remember, he tried to thrust himself through. His brother threw himself on them. Blood is just sprouting out everywhere. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie. What's that movie? Kill Bill. Remember all that blood just squirting everywhere? This brother's going crazy. He's like, man, he upset, he angry. Read on, man.
And his wounds were grievous, yet he ran through the midst of the throng and standing upon a steep rock.
So he ran in the midst of them, standing upon the rock. Come on.
When as his blood was now quite gone, he plucked out his bowels, taking them in both his hands. He cast them upon the throne, and calling upon the Lord of life and spirit to restore him those again, he thus died.
Yo, this dude pulled his bowels out. Listen, this man pulled his bowels out. Y'all don't understand. Listen, his intestines is out, bruh. He pulled his bowels out and asked the Lord to restore him. He didn't want them to kill him. This dude gushing blood. He ran out in the midst of him and said, just ripped his bowels out. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't even want to cut my hand myself or get a paper cut. His brother sliced himself, pulled his bowels. Man, read on.
2 Maccabees chapter 15 and verse 1. But Nicanor, hearing that Judas and his company were in the strong places about Samaria, resolved without any danger to set upon them on the Sabbath day. Nevertheless, the Jews that were compelled to go with him said, O destroy not so cruelly and barbarously, but give honor to that day, which he that seeth all things had honor with holiness about other days.
Remember, this is the Assyrians. It was like honor the Sabbath. Don't go up fight. Don't fight them on the Sabbath. What happened? They were sending an army against us on the Sabbath, knowing that they weren't going to fight. So they was trying to compel Judas and them not to go up and fight them. But read on.
Then the most ungracious wretch demanded if there were a mighty one in heaven that had commanded the Sabbath day to be kept. And when they said, there is in heaven a living Lord and mighty, who commanded the seventh day to be kept. Then said the other, and I also am mighty upon earth, and I command to take arms and to do the king's business. Yet he obtained not to have his wicked will done. So Nicanor, in exceeding pride and haughtiness, determined to set up a public monument of his victory over Judas and them that were with him. But Maccabeus had every sure confidence that the Lord would help him.
Read that again?
But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him.
His brother he didn't worry about nothing. He had ever sure confidence that the Lord was going to deliver him. Okay? He didn't look at his army. He didn't look at those round about. He had confidence in the Lord. That's why Psalms 118:8 says, I would rather put my confidence in the Lord than trust in any man. Okay? This brother was a walking example of righteousness. That fervent vehemency against evil, man. This how we gotta walk, y'all. This is the men that we gotta emulate. Read on.
Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they have received from heaven.
So he said, remember the help from the Lord. Trust in the Lord. Don't worry about nothing that's going on. Remember Egypt. Remember all the nations that was round about us, trying to destroy us. Who delivered us? The God of heaven, our Father. He's reminding them, exhorting them, listen, don't be afraid. Come on.
And now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty. and so comforted them out of the law and the prophets, and
Hold on. He comforted them how?
out of the law and the prophets.
Did he give his own fair speeches? A long soliloquy of his own words, his own thoughts? No. He comforted them out of the laws and the prophets. Where can you read the laws and the prophets?
The scriptures, man. He used the scriptures.
He used the Bible. He spoke according to the oracles of God.
Hey, I'll praise it. Don't it say that in Romans 15:4?
Yep. Read on, bro.
And so comforted them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in the mind of the battles that they won afore, he made them more cheerful. And when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge, showing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oaths.
Man, he stirred up their minds with the laws and the prophets, what went on, how the Most High delivered us through faith. You know what I'm saying? How he delivered up the nations as a ransom to us, all that stuff. He used the law to cheer us up. Okay? And likewise today, how do we got to cheer ourselves up today, even when we're going through it? The laws and the prophets, the word of the Most High. That's why when people call me saying they depressed and they upset or I'm like, you don't read the Bible. You don't read the damn Bible. In my mind is one thing. I'm like, I'm listening, but in my mind, I'm like, you couldn't possibly be reading the Bible that I read. You could not possibly be reading the Bible. Okay, read on.
Does he arm every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears, as with comfortable and good words.
So he armed them with the words of the Most High God. It wasn't even about giving them weapons, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the pulling down of strongholds. Hey, this brother was in the spirit, man. This brother was in the spirit. He was an excellent leader, excellent God of the people, guiding them with what? The laws and the prophets, the words of the Most High God, cheering them up, exhorting them so that they'll be equipped for the battle. And it's not about the shield and buckler, the sword that you got. It ain't about that. You got to get this right first. You got to have that faith in the Most High God that he's going to deliver you out of everything. Read on.
And beside that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them. And this was his vision, Dionysius, who had been high priest, a virtuous and a good man, reverent in conversation, gentle in condition, well spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, pray for the whole body of the Jews. This done in like manner, there appeared a man with great hairs, and exceeding glorious, who was of a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Onias answered, saying, This is a lover of the brethren, who prayeth much for the people and for the holy city, to wit Jeremiah the prophet of God. Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and in giving it spake thus, Take this holy sword, a gift from God, with the which thou shalt wound the adversaries, thus being well comforted by the word of Judas, which were very good, and able to stir them up to valor, and to encourage the hearts of the young men. They determined not to pitch camp, but to courageously to set upon them, and manfully to try the matter by conflict. Because
so they said, we ain't setting up camp. We going to war. They said, we ain't setting up camp. The hell with pitching tents. Let's get our sword. Let's go to war. Man, that had to be a master. I would have loved to be a fly on a wall in that, to hear that, man.
And they said they ain't sitting down. They're gonna go take it to them.
Let's go.
They're gonna set it out. They're gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Read on.
And manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city and the sanctuary and the temple were in danger.
So the city, the sanctuary, the temple, all that's in danger. We ain't got time to sleep. I feel the same way today. We ain't got time to sleep. Get your butt up. Let's get to work. Come on.
For the care that they took for their wives and their children, their brethren, and kinsfolks, was in least account with them.
They ain't take account of the wives, the children, the kinsfolk, because that nation, they care for their nation more greater than their own. They love their neighbors, they love themselves. Their nation was in danger. To hell with anything going on. We got to take care of this right now. Come on.
But the greatest and principal fear was for the holy temple. Also, they that were in the city took not the least care, being troubled for the conflict abroad. And now, when as all look what should be the trial, and the enemies were already come near, and the army was set in array, and the beasts conveniently placed, and the horsemen setting wings,
So they was in a military structure right here. The elephants, the horses, the men, they were arrayed, they were aligned, okay, strategically. Watch this, come on.
Maccabees, seeing the coming of the multitude and the divers preparations of armor and the fierceness of the beasts, stretched out his hands toward heaven and called upon the Lord that worketh wonders, knowing that victory cometh not by arms, but even as it seemeth good to him, he giveth it to such as are worthy.
So he knew it wasn't about the physical sword he had in his hand. He knew where his power lied, man. He stood right there with the sword up, asking his power to be that power for the people. Come on, man. People don't realize, hey, you know, when they put their hand up and they say black power or power to the people, they don't even know what the hell they talking about. They don't even know what they talking about, man. Who's the power to our people? The Most High God. Okay. What you got, bro?
Hey, that remind me of something. He set it up one and cast it down another. That's what he was saying right there. And that he understood that God set them up. If they did have any power, the Most High gave it to them, and the Most High could take it from them. And this is the day the Most High gonna take it.
Right. That's Psalm 75:6. Exactly. Read on.
Verse 22. Therefore, in his prayer, he said after this manner, O Lord, thou didst send thine angel in the time of Ezekiah, king of Judea, and didst slay in the host of Sennacherib 185,000.
So Sennacherib, 185,000 were killed. Come on.
Wherefore now also, O Lord of heaven, send a good angel before us for a fear and dread unto them. And through the might of thine arm, let those be stricken with terror that come against thy holy people to blaspheme. And he ended thus. Then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and songs. But Judas and his company encountered the enemies with invocation and prayer.
So they was coming, they was making a loud sounds, singing. They was doing those warlike chants. Okay, they had the instruments coming. Think about that. You hearing thousands of voices singing war chants and all this other stuff. Oh, we gonna, you know what I'm saying? Hey, and they just went forward to their enemies. Like, let's get it on. To hell with all the singing and everything else. Let's go. Man, this is beautiful. Read on.
So that fighting with their hands and praying unto God with their hearts, they slew no less than 35,000 men.
Whoa. So they swinging that sword and praying as they swinging. Father, deliver us out of their hands. Let me, come on, man. Y'all gotta put yourselves in what's going on here. They're sending up prayers. We send up prayers before class. We send up prayers, asking for things. In the heat of the battle, these brothers are sending up prayers, asking the Most High to deliver them. Fighting because they have the faith in him, knowing that he's going to always deliver us if we're in righteousness. This is heavy right here, man. Read on.
For through the appearance of God, they were greatly cheered. Now, when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness.
So they were able to kill how many?
So that fighting with their hands and prayed unto God with their hearts, they slew no less than 35,000 men.
So they was praying. They probably weren't even thinking how many they were killing. They was praying to the Most High God, just swinging, going to war. They killed no less than 35,000 men. Nicanor being one of them. He made a vow against the temple. You put our temple in danger, you got to go. Come on.
Now, when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness. Then they made a great shout and a noise, praising the Almighty in their own language. And
What language is that? Hebrew. Okay, go ahead.
And Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen all his life, commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder, and bring them to Jerusalem.
So cut his head off, cut his arms off, dismember this bastard. Defile him. See, the brother Razius, he didn't want to be defiled. He said, I'm gonna take myself out. You're not gonna defile me. Okay, after your death. It's a horrible thing to be defiled. Make mockery of. Cut his head off. Cut his arm and hand off. Come on.
So when he was there and called them of his nations together and set the priests before the altar, he sent for them that were of the tower, and showed them vile Nicanor's head and the hand of that blasphemer.
Why did he cut his hand off at the shoulder?
Because he lifted it up and pointed at the altar. Most High said, cut his hand and his head off. His arm, shoulder.
He pointed his hand. He said, I'm gonna destroy this temple. He made that vow. He said, if you don't deliver up Judas, I'm gonna destroy this temple. I'm gonna tear it down. I'm gonna tear down the altars, and I'm gonna build a procession to Bacchus here. I'm gonna build an altar of Bacchus right here. So that same arm he vowed or made that oath with, cut it off. Cut his head off too. Read on.
And showed them vile Nicanor's head and the hand of that blasphemer, which with proud brags he had stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty. And when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor.
So he had to cut his tongue out. You gonna make an oath against the Lord? Let me cut this tongue out too. Cut his damn head off. Cut his tongue out. I'm telling you about our foreparents with something else. These brothers killed 35, no less than 35,000. You want to mess with the Most High? Keep playing. These nations better calm down. I'm telling you, they better calm down. I'm telling you, they better humble themselves down. They don't know the power they dealing with, man. When we return back to our true form, man, I'm telling you, I can't wait. I can wait, but I can't wait. Man, come on, read on. What you got, bro? I'm sorry. What you got, bro? I ain't mean. I got too excited. Go ahead.
And when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor, he commanded that they should give it by pieces unto the fowls and hang
feed it to the fowls. Chop it up. Feed it to the damn birds. Come on. You want to vow with that tongue? We're going to chop your tongue off and feed it to the birds, man. Come on.
And hang up the reward of his madness before the temple.
Hang his damn head up. Read on.
So every man prays toward the heaven the glorious Lord, saying, blessed be he that had kept his own place undefiled.
Think about this. You see this daggone large army of men. We think that 500 men is a lot. 1,000 is a lot. We bugging. 35,000 men, no less than that, standing up against you. You got a few thousand with you. You got your swords and your shield. They coming. You hear them. They singing. Y'all see 300? The sound of their feet shaking the dog on earth as they come. And the Most High God allow you to kill all of them and deliver you by his hand. You praying and shooting with the sword. Come on, man. If y'all don't read this and get inspired, there's something wrong with your damn spirit. Read on.
So every man prays toward the heaven, the glorious Lord, saying, blessed be he that had kept his own place undefiled.
Oh, praises. He kept his own place undefiled. There's no power against the power of the Most High God. No power. Nothing can stand up against him. You want to defile this temple? You're going to disrespect the power, the Father? Are you tripping? Come on.
He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident and manifest sign unto all of the help of the Lord.
Oh, man. So how did he manifest the sign of the Lord, the help of the Lord? He put one of the top generals. Remember, Nicanor was over Jerusalem. He put his head up high. Everybody can see it. This who y'all was afraid of? I don't give a damn how many elephants he ride on. This is who you afraid of? Look at his head. You see that thing hanging right there? We cut his damn tongue out his mouth. You speak about the Most High God. We cut his. You want to make an oath? Cut his dang on arm off. Cut that hand that he made that oath with. Cut it off. Read on.
And they ordain all with a common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day before Mardocheus' day. Thus it went with Nicanor, and from that time forth the Hebrews had the city in their power. And here will I make an end. And if I have done well, as is fitting the story, it is that which I desire. But if slenderly and meanly, it is that which I could attain unto. For as it is hurtful to drink wine or water alone, and as wine mingled with water is pleasant and delight of the taste, even so speech finely framed delight of the ears of them that read the story. And here shall be an end.
So your ears should be delighted by hearing this history. Your ears should be delighted from hearing this thing. You should want this. This is the celebration this is what we're celebrating here, man. The power of the Most High God being shown right in our face. Half of us don't even realize. Our people got Bibles, don't even pick the damn Bible up to see the power of God right here. He delivered 35,000 men into the hands of Judah and his men, so that they can see a token of his power. Come on, man. So on this day, we're going to honor that. We're going to honor the power of the Most High God. We're going to reverence the men that he used to do his will, so that his temple was not defiled. So all praise to the Most High God. Today is that day. Okay, we understand the history, and we're going to end it on that. Any questions?
All praise.
Any questions?
Yeah, if you read this story, do not get hyped behind the acts of our forefathers, man.
Man.
There's something wrong with you.
Bruh.
Praise. I'm trying to just imagine in my head right now how that was. That's amazing.
Hey, this is the level we got to get to, man. It ain't all just physically. Spiritually, we got to get there. We got to get our hearts right, man. We got to start thinking and having the mind of the Most High. He was one with the Lord. This brother was a man of war, just like David. David was a man of war. The Most High loved him. Phineas, when he thrust through his brother in the damn Ammonite woman. What? Who was she?
The Moabites.
Moabites.
Yeah, Moabite.
Numbers 25.
Yeah.
When he thrust them through, he loved that, man.
Yeah, the Lord said.
When Judas, when the brother went to go sacrifice swine, and Judas sacrificed that brother on the altar, the Most High loved that thing, man.
Yep.
No, don't chop no heads off yet, now, sis. Don't chop no heads off yet. Don't chop no heads off yet. We ain't there yet.
Hey, you gotta show them the scriptures. They ready to cut somebody's head off now, right?
Hey, we ain't there yet. All praise, Solomon. We'll drink. Hey, we'll drink to that. Everybody drink to that. All praise. Any questions on YouTube?
Got anything on Facebook? Nothing on Facebook.
No, on YouTube. All right, family. Continue to read the history. You can go. You can read First Maccabees 7 as well. It gives a brief understanding. The second Maccabees went a little bit more in depth. That's why I wanted to read for y'all today. We got some stuff to talk about tomorrow. We're gonna talk about some stuff tomorrow now. And remember, Purim starts tomorrow night. So we gotta bring forth that understanding as well. This is an observance. It's not considered as the high holy day. It's the Sabbath anyway. So we're not, we ain't cooking and things of that nature on this day.
Because it fell on the Sabbath.
Right.
But if this day didn't fall on the Sabbath, you'd have been able to cook and everything
Right.
and buy.
Mm-hmm. I made me a little feast before the Sabbath. Y'all know what I ate. All praise to the Most High. So, hey, I hope y'all enjoyed the class, man. Continue to read the history, read the law and the prophets which Judas used to exhort the people. This is what we constantly say. Read the Bible. Okay? Read the Bible. Get an understanding. Get wisdom. And with all that get understanding. Exactly, sis. Never cook on the Sabbath, on the 7-day Sabbath. Never cook on that day. All right. And with that, family, love y'all, man. Y'all stay blessed. Get in y'all Bibles, man. Read your Bibles, brothers and sisters. And with that, we say peace and blessings. We're gonna say shalom, y'all.
Peace and blessings. Shalom.
Peace and blessings. Shalom. Happy Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine before me. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine before me. Doesn't it feel good to know someone came to the truth 'cause of you? Letting your light shine through and letting them see the Spirit of Christ in you. Matthew 5 and verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father